I don't know what's going on. Hold on. I don't know what happened, but it kicked a bunch of people off, I think.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna wait. Because if it's only like you, sister Nurse, I'm like, all right, whatever, here we go. Okay, so having your chair, let's lie down on the backs, calves draped on top, and then find some deep inhales and exhales. And then starting to find that TBA engagement, inhaling to the back and the side body, exhaling out through the mouth as you feel the ribs pulling in and you feel your abs drawing into the back. Let's go for 3 more like that. Last 2. And then last one. And then from here, you can bring your hands onto your pubic bone. You're gonna find your pelvic tuck. So exhale, imprint your low back on the mat, and then inhale, release them with your legs on this chair. You'll really be able to tell if your legs are starting to press down in order to make this happen. So see if this can happen by just engaging the low abdominals, trying to keep the glutes just deactivated. Just along for the ride. Let's go for 6. Oh, I'm sorry, that's what you mean. Give me 3 more. Last 2. And then last one. And then I want you to find the in-between of those 2 extremes. So flat across the tops of your hips. And then bring your hands down by your side, just palms facing down. And then exhale, bring your right leg into tabletop, and then bring your left leg. And then just make sure the knees are right over the hips here. And then hug the abs in. And then so you're gonna start to open your legs like a book, finding some abduction and adduction, and squeeze those legs back together. Inhale, they open. Exhale, squeeze. And then try to make sure that the toes are hidden by your knees, so that the legs are staying parallel. And if you'd like a little bit more of a challenge, you can reach those arms up to the ceiling. Try to keep the back of the neck nice and relaxed, nice and long. Good. Let's go for 5 more like this. Last 3, 2. And then last one. From here, keep the left knee completely still. Start to open just the right leg. And then really make sure that the rest of your body is not moving. Good. And keeping that left thigh still for 5, 4, 3, 2. And then hold that right thigh still. Now go to the left. Inhale, it opens. Exhale to squeeze. Good. Keeping that right hip grounding down. Let's go for 6, 5, 4, 2. Last one. And then relax those legs down for a second. You're gonna interlace your hands behind your head, and then keeping the legs nice and floppy, hanging out on that chair. I want you to just start to take an upper body curl, curling head, neck, and shoulder blades off of the mat, and then inhale back. Really pull the head with the hands so that the neck muscles stay soft. And then you're going to start to float one leg at a time into tabletop and keep marching, knowing that you can always bring your legs down to that chair if you need to. the hip flexors start to group up or the low back ever starts to compromise. And then adding on from here, guys, as you curl forward next, you're gonna reach one leg long to come to a 45-degree angle and then bend it as you lower your head back and then exhale other leg. So single leg stretch. Make sure that neck is staying nice and long, chin tucking to the chest. And then as you curl up, try to keep hugging the rectus abdominis in. So don't let those abs poof up to the ceiling. Keep hugging them into the spine. And if this is going great and you want a little bit more, I got you. Start to send both legs and then bend both knees. And whenever I do double leg extension, I always go into external rotation so that my hip flexors don't crunch it off like a little frog. Let's go for 8. Whatever you're up to. 7. 6. Exhale, squeeze the belly in for 5. Last 3. 2. Stay curled forward, extend the legs and hold. You're gonna send them down one little smidge, exhale back up. I was going to say micro inch, but that makes no sense. Inhale down an inch, exhale up an inch. For 6, 5, 4, curl higher. 3, 2, 1. Hug your knees into your chest. Rock from side to side. Great. Bring your heels onto the edge of your chair. I'm gonna take my pillow off, so I don't put my feet on the floor as I toss on the floor behind me. Okay, bring your heels onto the edge of the chair. And then I want you to plant your arms down by your sides. And then you're gonna find that pelvic tuck again. So your low back's gonna tilt down towards the mat. And then start to roll your hips up into your bridge, pressing down into those feet. And then once you find your bridge at the top, you're gonna roll back down. And so things to mention about this, depending on the height of the seat on your chair, if the higher the seat is, the harder this will be. Mine is a little bit higher than my hamstrings are comfortable with, but that's okay. I'm just not gonna let my hips go quite as high so that my low back doesn't hurt. So if you ever feel any low back pain, just kind of have like a lower bridge, basically. And you're still taking your time, rolling down, and then rolling back up. And then hopefully you're obviously feeling the backs of those hamstrings, but if not, no worries, we have more variations to come, just you wait. If you'd like, you can reach your arms up towards the ceiling for a little extra challenge. And then next time your hips are high in your bridge, let's just hold there. From here, really drag the heels down. Think about squeezing your hips a little higher. Hug your navel in. And if this is killing you and you're not vibing with this, just come down to your feet on the floor with a normal bridge. Otherwise, I want you to think about sticking your butt halfway out, like you're hinging your hips down, and then lift them back up. So it's almost like you're trying to sit and then you decide not to. So instead of that articulation, very angular, keep lifting those hips higher every time for 5, 4, my hamstrings are hating me right now, last 3, 2, and then last one, hold at the top of your bridge, take a breath in, on the exhale, slowly melt all the way down. Whew. Okay, give your knees a swipe from right to left. Take a second. We have one more set of bridges. Okay, so when you're ready, let's keep arms down for this variation. Roll your hips up into your bridge and hold. Again, if you need to bring the feet down to the floor, totally fine. Otherwise, you're gonna walk your feet, so you're gonna externally rotate, bring your legs to a wide V position, and then you're gonna internally rotate, draw the inner thighs together. So it's like you're doing a little clamshell in your bridge. Try to keep those hips lifted. Let's go for 8. This is 6, my chair is sliding. That's 5, so keep pulling it in. Oh my God, even more, hamstring. 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh my gosh, roll all the way down. And then hug one leg into the chest, give it a little stretch up to the ceiling for a hamstring release. And then switch. And then when you're ready, you're gonna come up to seated. And then we're gonna come up to standing facing the chair. So once you are standing, let me adjust the camera. You're just gonna find feet inner hip distance apart. And then you're just gonna find a little sway back and forth. So you're gonna rock your weight forward into the balls of your feet and then rock your weight back into the heels. And maybe like soften the gaze or close the eyes and just start to tune into your body and notice how just this tiny transfer of weight makes the rest of your body feel, feeling those abs start to hug in every time you lean back, so as you don't fall. And then once your weight is next on the balls of your feet, so it's forward, I want you to lift your heels up, coming into like a calf raise, and then slowly lower them back down. Warming up the ankles, feeling the glutes perking up, and feel if you can feel as if you can grow taller. Like you lift up and then you try to keep all that length even as you lower back down. For 6, 5, last 3, 2, and then keep your heels high, bend your left knee and drop your right heel, and then lift both heels high and then switch. So it's like you're finding a little prance. Still going nice and controlled. Trying to keep the big toe really heavy. Okay. And then both heels just come down. And then I want you to just reach your hands out to kind of grab the seat of your chair and then walk your feet out. And then I want you to start to find some cat-cows on the chair. So you're gonna find a flat back and almost like arch your back a little bit as you let the legs stretch out. I feel almost like a hamstring stretch from that bridging. And then as you exhale, bend the knees around the chest. So you straighten the legs, you lift up, almost think about pulling the heel of your hand towards you, like pulling the chair down and back, and then pressing it away. And this should just feel nice on the body, on the spine, on the hamstrings. And then next time you find your flat back, I just want you to hold, bring your shoulders over your wrists, and then step your legs back to find a high plank here. So hug those abs in once you're in your high plank. And then I want you to find a little scapular push-up. You're gonna sink the shoulder blades together and then press them apart. Let's go for 8, 6, 5. Keep reaching the crown of your head forward in the diagonal. Last 2. Next time your shoulder blades are wide, pause, bend your elbows for a wide elbow push-up, and then press. So adjust my hands. Go for 10. Last 7, 6, 5, last 3, 2, and 1. Press your hips back, find a little almost like downward dog moment and stretch the arms out. almost like press the armpits down to the ground to get a little extra lat stretch. And then I want you to slither forward, find your plank again. If you need to come down to forearms, totally fine. You're gonna, let's pick the left leg. You're gonna pull the left knee into the chest, and then you're just gonna send it out long. So you're just finding a kind of bend and stretch of that left knee, and keep extending it longer every time. For 5. 3. And then I want you to hold the knee in next time and then step it forward so the left foot's down. So we're setting up for lunges. Use the chair for a second to just use it as a tool to find your balance, and then pull your left hip back. Hug your abs up in it, and then once you find your balance, once you're feeling ready for some fire, bring your hands to your hips. Dig your left heel down, almost pull the left heel towards you to ignite the whole back of that leg. And then from here, I want you to flex through the right ankle, so the back leg, and then point. So it's like you're doing a little calf raise with just that right ankle. And the idea here is to keep the knee still in space as that pelvis just kind of goes forward and like on a diagonal, forward and back. But really trying to stay stable through that left leg. Let's go for 5. Pull your left hip back a little more if your hips are not square like mine. 2. And then I want you to find that high heel, so really forced high heel here. And then bring your hands behind the base of your skull. And then I want you to use your hands behind your head as some traction to really elongate your neck, pull your head out of the shoulders. And then you're gonna rotate over your left shoulder. And then inhale, come back to center, rotating the thoracic spine. Inhale, center. Keep squeezing that left heel down and back. Hopefully feeling some sensation in the left glute and thigh. Go for 4 more here. And 3. Last 2. And then after this last one, just come to center and hold. From here, I want you to lift your front heel, so your left heel lifts and then lowers. And it might not lift even like an inch, but see how much you can press down into the big toe for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring your hands to the chair. Step your left foot back, find a plank. Breathing in your plank. Woo. Plank almost feels like relaxing now, yeah. And then bring your right knee into your chest. We're gonna go right into the other side. Extend that right leg back. Try to keep the collarbones wide. Keep pressing yourself up and out of those hands for 5, 4, 3, 2. Bend the knee and hold. Step the foot down. Square the hips off. Pull the right hip back. And then when you're ready, you're going to start to point and flex through the left foot. Keeping the right knee completely still on top of that right heel, and think about digging the right heel down and back. Like you're trying to pull the mat part, the front mat, like towards you, like almost wrinkle it. And that'll just help fire on your adductors and your hamstring a little bit more. And take a little bit of some tension out of the knee and out of the quad. Let's go for 5, 4, 3, are you sweating it? Yeah, last 2. And then find your high heel. Woohoo! Hands behind the noggin. If you prefer to hand center at the heart center, that's an option. Take a breath in as you exhale, rotate to the right. Inhale back to center. And then what I just did, which made my hip kind of pop actually, is I rotated and pulled that right hip back and then tried to keep the right hip back as I rotated the left, or the chest to the left. That's just gonna help me square my pelvis up a little bit more. I just lost my balance. And feel like this rotation's happening at your belly button, the very bottom of your rib cage. This is 6. And 5. Can you sink down a little bit more? Can you pull your belly in a little more? 4. Last 3. 2. And then you're gonna untwist, come back to center. You're still in your lunge. You're gonna press into the ball of your right foot, lift the right heel, and then lower it down. Ooh, I have bigger range of motion on this one, personally speaking. Last 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Here to bring your forearms down to the chair. Step your foot back and find your forearm plank. Take a few deep breaths in your forearm plank. Whew. All right, and then we're gonna start to walk our feet to the right and left. You're gonna step your right foot out. You're gonna step your left foot out. You're in this nice wide plank. Right foot back in, left foot back in, and then go to the other side. Left foot out, right foot out, left foot in, right foot in, right foot out, left foot out. And then see how fast you can go, or see how controlled you can be, or both. Ten seconds on the clock. 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop your knees down. And then, I don't know, just press back into a child's pose. Knees wide. Press your arms down on the mat. Let your forehead come down. Take some deep breaths. On the inhale, think about breathing into the back ribs. On the exhale, sink the hips down a little bit more. Tent your fingertips, and then so that the fingertips are on the mat and the palms are like lifted up. And then I want you to press into the fingertips so that your butt sinks back a little bit more. 2 more deep breaths here. And then you're just gonna come up to a kneeling position. While I check what time it is, amazing. Okay, let's go ahead and lie. Oh, this is what I wanted to do. You're gonna take a seat on the chair. And take a seat on the chair facing one side of it, so not in a traditional way, like how I am now. And then I want you to sit at the very front edge of it, like as far forward as you can get without falling off. And then reach your arm. Actually, just bring your hands to your thighs for a second and just sit up really nice and tall. Roll your shoulders down your back for a few breaths. Now I'm ready. You're gonna reach your arms out in front of you like a zombie. Take a breath in. As you exhale, you're gonna tuck your tailbone underneath you and start to roll back to find a C curve. Stop once you start to feel your feet lifting off of the floor. Breath in. Exhale is gonna roll you back up. So keep going like that. Exhale, tuck and roll back. If you've ever been in a reformer Pilates class, think of this as like our short box series. And every time you roll back, think about, it's like someone slow-mo punched you in the gut. Really dramatic, really C-curving. And then you're still finding the C-curve on the way back up. That's oftentimes what I find in clients is that the C-curve on the way back is all good and fine, even superb. But then on the way up, they just kind of start to crank at the hips and come forward. And that's not what I want you to do. I want you to think about pulling the belly back as the ribs come forward. And then always resetting in your neutral spine at the top, feeling the length through the back of the neck. Let's go for 3 more while I redo my bun. And then I want you to lower down and then just hold your C curve. From here, scoop your navel in a little bit more. And then I want you to start to lift your right leg just like an inch, the right foot a few inches off of the ground, and then tap it back down. And then exhale, left foot a few inches off the ground. I started with the wrong foot. So pretty much just starting to march those legs. And I want you to use your exhale every time so that you don't think about the hip flexor muscles. You're thinking about the low abs. And if you can't find those low abs, try to tuck a little bit more. Try to bring my favorite cue ever. It's just like bottoms of the rib cage, the tops of your hip bones. Like try to make them meet. And then as those marches grow, maybe those legs come all the way into a very high tabletop. And then everyone pause with their right leg in tabletop next. I'm so glad the bottoms of my feet are not like black at this moment. And then from here, you're just gonna lower your rib cage back 1 inch and then exhale up 1 inch. And then the trick here is keeping that right thigh completely still in space. Don't let it move at all. Last 3, 2, and then hold your lift up. Breathe in. You're gonna start to float your left arm up to the ceiling in line with your ear and then back down. Just that left arm. Last 6. Good, use your breath for 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the foot down, roll yourself back up to seated. Take a shoulder roll, maybe a neck roll. And then we have the other side. You're gonna roll yourself back and hold, float your left leg into tabletop, and then just pause here, keeping the left thigh completely still in space, back an inch and up an inch with that rib cage. Holding or pulling that belly in. For 6, 5, 4, 3. Good, and then keep yourself lifted. Start to float that right arm up and then back down. So what's kind of happening here, which you might have already realized, but while we're here, we might as well chat a little bit, right? Is when your arm is over that right thigh, all of the weight of this right arm is in that right thigh. So you don't feel the weight of this arm as much because this right side of your pelvis is helping you stabilize. Once that right arm goes up, the weight, you know, where the gravity is kind of sending the weight distribution is into the upper abdominals, into the back of that pelvis. And so just by like moving our limbs around from the midline, we're already challenging that core stability. Beautiful thing, right? Last 3, 2. And then on this last one, come all the way up. Another wiggle. One last set. If this is not feeling good, then just meditate, chill out, or find one of the other variations. You're gonna roll back and hold, bring your left leg into tabletop, bring your right leg into tabletop. Holding your teaser prep, start to float both arms up, both arms down. I have external rotation with my thighs because my hip flexors are starting to feel this. And then I'm hugging my abs in very actively, very consciously, so that I take all the work out of my hip flexors. Let's go for 8. Last 6. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring yourself down. Open your knees wide. Keep the feet together. Open the knees wide, and then pour your body in between your thighs. Stretch out the low back. You can sway yourself from right to left. Okay. And then you're going to step off to one side, and then you're going to come to kneeling. My chair is on the right side of me. And then let's bring our hands behind the head. And then you're gonna open your knees wider than maybe is like yeah, pretty wide, like wider than the body frame. And then I want you to just take a breath in here, and as you exhale, you're gonna think about squeezing, try to drag your thighs towards each other. If you have sensitive knees, you can pad up your knees with pillows or blankets or something. The idea here is growing a little bit taller, hugging the abs in. The abs will help you with this engagement, and you're gonna start to fire up those inner thighs. See if you can grow yourself a little taller. See if you can feel the outer glutes squeeze as well. This is one of those, like, it is what you make of it. You know, you really have to like find that deepest squeeze and then slowly release. Let's go for 5 more. And 4, 3. And then feel the hands behind the head again, just elongating that neck. And then I want you to hold that squeeze. It doesn't have to be your deepest squeeze, but a squeeze. And then you're gonna start to find a little side sit up to the right, finding that lateral flexion. And then exhale, come back to center. Inhale the left. Exhale, squeeze the inner thighs, squeeze the abs. Yeah, let's make it a little more dynamic. So you'll release the squeeze of the inner thighs as you dip to one side. Exhale, squeeze the mat, squeeze yourself back up to neutral. Imagine you're between 2 very narrow walls. Some people say 2 panes of glass, whatever speaks to you, whatever keeps you the most centered. And then next time you're on the right, where you're your elbow's very close to that chair, you're gonna bring your right forearm down and you're gonna lean onto that right knee. From here, we're gonna be here for a second. That's why I got my pillow, my right forearm. So right forearm is down, your left knee is staying bent. You're gonna start to open, you're gonna start to lift that left knee up and then bring it back down. So keep the foot flexed if you can, and then making sure that both hips are staying nice and pressed forward. So oftentimes people kind of cheat with this one by letting that right hip pull back. The idea is to press the right hip as far forward as you can, because this works both the upper, that top glute and the bottom glute. Let's go for 6. 4, 3, 2, and then open the knee and hold. Again, flexing the foot nice and strong. You're gonna bring the knee in front of your hip, and then you're gonna press the foot back. So if you can see yourself in the camera, try not to let the chest move, and try to let that kneecap come right in front of that left hip crease. Think about sticking your butt out behind you, and if you're ever like, where am I feeling this? Just lift that leg higher and you'll know right away. Whew. Let's go for 5. Make sure that belly is not moving back and forth. 4, 3, 2. Next time it's lengthened back, just hold. Extend the leg so that it's nice and long. Tiny pulses up for 10. 9, 8, 7, hug the abs in 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then bring that foot down. Whew. Okay. From here, we're gonna stay where we are in this position. We're gonna go into a side plank. So you're gonna step onto the blade of that left foot. So my left toes are pointing straight forward. Cross into the right forearm. Step the right foot behind the left foot, coming onto the outer blade of the right foot, and then lift that left arm up. From here, take a breath in. As you exhale, just pull your hips up and up. For 8, 5, 4, 3, 2, hold here. Hold that highest lift for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the knees down. Whew. You're gonna meet me in like this Captain Morgan pose. Left foot is facing the left, right knee is down. Just bring your left forearm to your left thigh. Reach that right palm up towards the ceiling, and then take a little side bend up and over. And then rotate your ribcage up to the ceiling, like you're trying to show off your armpit hair to the man above you. And keep reaching through that right middle finger. Whew. Good. And then we're gonna do it all again. So you can either flip around so that you're not facing me, or you can just move your chair, whichever is easiest. Once you're there, let's start here again. Bring that knee, a foot away from that chair-ish. And then you're gonna find your lateral flexion. We won't do the inner thighs because my inner thighs feel fine without it. And then just use this to go a little bit taller up and out of your spine. Keep pulling the head out of the collarbones. Last 3, 2, and then meet me in your lateral flexion to the left forearm down, and then press yourself onto that left forearm, press that left hip forward, lift the right thigh, and then close it. Advanced sideline variation. And I always take that top hand just to use it to square myself off through the pelvis. This is one of those things that once the pelvis goes out of whack, it's really hard to hit the right muscles. So make sure those hip bones are just square forward like headlights. And if you're ever unsure where to feel this, you'll just do everything I'm telling you to do with a straight leg. It's very killer. Let's go for 4 more. 3, 2, and then keep it up there like you're a dog peeing on a hydrant. And then you're gonna bring the knee in front of you and then press that leg back. Trying not to let the chest move in space. Like everything besides this right thigh bone is trying to stay like a statue. Just nearly impossible, but it's the goal, We're reaching, always reaching. See if that thigh can lift a little higher. See if the ankle is drooping like this and try to make sure it's parallel with the kneecap. Give me 3, 2, and then keep that sucker back there. Extend the leg. Find a tiny pulse up with that right thigh. Press that left hip forward for 10. 8, fight for it. I sure am. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop that leg. Whew. Okay. From here, no time to waste, right? Especially in quarantine, just no time to waste. Step on that right blade, the left side of the right foot, so the inner blade of the right foot. Press into the left forearm, tuck the left foot behind, coming onto the blade of that left foot, lift that right arm up. Find your little hips. Your little hip wiggle. Rainbow, pulling that left waistline up, try to squeeze your left oblique for 10. 6, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it down. Whoa. All right, bring that right foot out in a little Captain Morgan seafaring pose. Right elbow to the right quad. I look like a coach talking, a football coach. I'm like, huddle up, kids. Reach that left arm up and over. And then reaching through that left fingertip, left middle fingertip. Rotate your armpit, show off your armpit to the man upstairs, figuratively, spiritually, but mostly literally. Where are we at time? Oh wow, I just timed this like chef's kiss. All right guys, let's finish just sitting on your tuchus for me. Feet, knees bent. And then bring your hands to the front of your kneecaps. Look at the glisten on my forehead. And then sit up just really tall. So use the hands on the knees as traction. Pull your heart up to the ceiling. And then staying on your sit bones, reach your arms up to the ceiling. And then I want you to rotate to the right, bring your right hand behind you, left hand to the right knee. And just take a little twisty twist. Try not to crane your neck. See if you can go a little taller and then twist a little deeper. One more breath like that. And then come back through center. Arms go up, and then you twist to the left, left fingertip down, right hand to the left knee. Sit taller. One more breath like that. Come back to center, arms float up, and then just bow forward, hinging, lowering down onto the ground. And then try to take some body scans here. It's a weird position to do it, but just try to make sure that your sits bones are melting down and that your forehead is trying to reach towards your shins. And then you can roll yourself back up to seated, and that was class. So thanks for hanging out, and next class will be Saturday at 12:30. Any questions, hit me up. Hit up my Venmo for donations, please, if you have any money to give. And thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.